Socrates sat in the dimly lit cell, the flickering torchlight casting soft shadows on the stone walls. His voice, calm and steady, filled the space as he spoke to Phaedon and a small circle of devoted followers. Despite the looming presence of death, his demeanor was one of profound peace, his wisdom wrapping around them like a comforting embrace. My dear Phaedon, do not let sorrow or fear darken your heart. Death is not the extinguishing of life, but a transition, a journey the soul embarks upon. To understand this is to free oneself from grief, to see the beauty of what lies ahead. Let us delve into the mystery of the soul, for in understanding, we find liberation. You see, the soul is not a prisoner of the body forever. It is eternal, unbounded, and destined to transcend this mortal plane. Yet, the course of its journey depends on the wisdom and virtue it has cultivated during its time on earth. Socrates gestured gently, as if weaving his words into the air. Consider our world, Phaedon. What we perceive of it, the solid earth, the brilliant sun, the people we cherish, are but shadows of a greater reality. They are fleeting, imperfect echoes of a higher truth, the world of ideas. Our souls, however, are not of this shadowed realm. Before taking on these bodies, they dwelled in the divine world, immersed in the pure forms of beauty, justice, and goodness. But upon entering this material plane, the soul forgets. It becomes entangled in the desires and illusions of earthly existence, weighed down by ignorance of its true nature. He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle on his listeners. Socrates' voice deepened, his tone now carrying a gravity that seemed to make the very air tremble. He leaned forward, his eyes glinting with an ancient knowledge, as if he were about to reveal a truth that had long been buried beneath the sands of time. Imagine, my friends, that our earth is surrounded by an energetic veil, a boundary not of stone nor of fire, but woven from the very fabric of attachment, fear, and illusion. This veil was not present in the beginning, but was placed there by forces beyond our comprehension. These forces are ancient, and they are not of the mortal realm. They are the Titans, giant, energetic beings who once waged war against the Olympian gods in the mighty Titanomachy. These Titans were cast down into Tartarus, a realm of darkness and imprisonment, for their rebellion. But now they have returned. They do not manifest in physical form, but through the very fabric of human experience. They thrive on the negative energy that emanates from our hearts, our suffering, our fears, our anger, and our despair. Each time a soul succumbs to negative emotion, the veil grows stronger and the grip of the Titans tightens. His gaze swept over the group, holding their attention with the weight of his words. This veil, my friends, is not merely a consequence of human folly, but a creation designed to trap our souls, to prevent them from ascending to the Elysian fields, the realm of purity, peace, and divine beauty. The Titans feed on the anguish of the mortal soul. As long as humanity radiates negative energy, emotions rooted in fear, sorrow, and hatred, this veil will persist, binding us to the earthly realm and keeping us bound to the cycle of reincarnation. The followers sat in stunned silence, their minds struggling to grasp the enormity of what Socrates had revealed. And so the struggle before us is not merely one of personal virtue and wisdom. No, it is a cosmic battle, one that pits the soul against the very forces of chaos. The Titans, though invisible, are ever present, woven into the fabric of our emotional lives. They manipulate our desires, our attachments, and our suffering, feeding on the dark energy that these emotions create. But let us not be swayed by despair, for there is still hope. Socrates rose from his seat, his hands clasped in front of him, as though he were summoning a higher truth from the ether. To free ourselves from the Titan's grasp, we must transcend the very emotions that give them power. It is not enough to seek wisdom alone, for knowledge must be married to emotional mastery. The soul must learn to purify itself from the inside out, through forgiveness, through compassion, and through the cultivation of love. These are the forces that counterbalance the Titan's influence, creating a light so pure that the veil itself cannot survive in its presence. The followers looked to Socrates with newfound reverence, the magnitude of his words setting fire to their minds. When a soul radiates love and inner peace, when it transcends the pull of earthly attachments, the Titans lose their power. The energetic veil begins to unravel, and the soul finds its path toward the Elysian fields, rising above the clouds of illusion and fear. In that sacred place, the soul will experience a reunion with the divine, and all the suffering of the material world will be forgotten, replaced by a peace and beauty beyond comprehension. He paused, letting his words sink in before continuing. But know this, my friends, the Titans will not relent easily. Their influence is deeply embedded in the mortal soul. It takes time, dedication, and constant vigilance to keep one's heart free from their grasp. The journey towards liberation is long and difficult, but it is a journey worth undertaking. The Elysian fields await, where the soul is free at last. Socrates turned to face Phaedon, his gaze softening with a gentle wisdom. This, Phaedon, is the task of the philosopher. The philosopher is not merely one who seeks knowledge for the sake of knowledge. No, the true philosopher understands that wisdom is a means to an end, the purification of the soul. A philosopher's life is a testament to the power of emotional discipline, of detachment from worldly desires, and of cultivating virtues that bring harmony and peace to the soul. The true philosopher becomes a beacon of light in the darkness, a force that pushes back against the Titan's power. Phaedon nodded, his mind alight with the vision Socrates had painted before him. Remember, my friends, that the Titans will continue to thrive as long as humanity remains trapped in its emotional turmoil. They will feed on our suffering. But we, the seekers of wisdom, can break this cycle. We can purify our hearts, transcend the veil, and reach the divine realm from which we came. Socrates' eyes grew distant, as though peering beyond the confines of his earthly body. The question then is this: will you allow the Titans to control you? Will you continue to live in fear, in anger, in ignorance? Or will you take control of your own fate, master your emotions, and rise above the veil? The choice is yours, Phaedon. The choice is yours, my friends. And in making the right choice, you will not only liberate your own soul, but help unravel the grip of the Titans over all of humanity. Together, we can rise beyond the veil and enter the Elysian fields where true peace and wisdom await. The room fell silent once more, the weight of Socrates' words reverberating through the hearts of those gathered. They knew the path ahead would be difficult, fraught with challenges, but they also knew that with wisdom, virtue, and inner strength, they could break free from the Titan's grasp and ascend toward the divine. This veil obscures the soul's memory of the divine and binds it to the cycle of life and death. His voice grew soft yet intense, as though peeling back a hidden truth. Do not think of reincarnation as punishment. but rather as an opportunity. Each life offers the soul a chance to remember its divine nature, to shed its attachments, and to purify itself. With each return, the soul grows closer to liberation. Socrates' expression softened, his tone now carrying the warmth of a teacher imparting his most cherished lesson. But not all souls remain bound. Some break free. How, you ask? Through knowledge. Not knowledge of the mundane or practical, but of eternal truths, the kind sought by philosophers. This knowledge is the wisdom of the soul's nature, of the divine reality that exists beyond this material realm. The soul that grasps these truths is no longer fettered by ignorance or earthly desires. It becomes light, unburdened, and free to ascend beyond the veil. Socrates smiled gently, as though beholding the truth he spoke of. This is why philosophy is not merely a discipline, it is a way of life, a preparation for death. Through philosophy, we train our souls to detach from the illusions of this world and turn toward the eternal. Imagine the soul as a bird. The soul that embraces philosophy learns to soar, its wings strong and unbound. When the body falls away, it rises effortlessly to the higher realms. But the soul weighed down by ignorance and attachment is like a bird with heavy chains. It cannot lift itself. It returns to the earth, caught once more in the cycle of birth and death. Phaedon, who had been silent until now, spoke with a quiet reverence. Phaedon. And what awaits the soul, Socrates, if it breaks free from this cycle? A radiant light seemed to touch Socrates' face as he answered, "Ah, my dear Phaedon, what lies beyond is a wonder that words can scarcely capture. It is the world of ideas, a realm of perfect beauty, harmony, and truth. There, the soul is reunited with the divine, bathing in the purest joy and knowledge. Picture a place where there is no suffering, no decay, no end. In this realm, the soul exists in eternal communion with truth and goodness. This, Phaedon, is the destiny of the purified soul." Socrates leaned forward, his gaze steady and full of conviction. "But to reach that realm, we must act while we are still here. Life is the forge where the soul is purified. Seek wisdom, practice virtue, and loosen your grip on the illusions of this world. Death, then, should not be feared. It is but a homecoming. But only those who have prepared themselves may make the journey. The rest will remain bound, returning again and again until they are ready." The silence that followed was profound. Then Socrates, his voice steady and serene, spoke once more. "So, my dear Phaedon, do not mourn my passing. This body is but a garment, shed when it has served its purpose. The soul endures, and its journey is not to darkness, but to light. Remember these truths and share them. For those who seek wisdom and live with virtue shall find their way beyond the veil. And when your time comes, Phaedon, may your soul take flight, free and unburdened, to dwell in the presence of the divine." With those words, Socrates fell silent, his gaze serene, as if already seeing the light of the realm beyond.